Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 5.83% to 31,453. Ethereum up 3.65% to 1867. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. What we've just done together is a run-through of the crypto market. This keeps you informed on a daily basis on what cryptos are moving in what sectors. This is very valuable information to refer back to in the future. You can see that BNB is red at the moment. This is probably on news that the Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC, is looking into BNB as the next XRP. The SEC is trying to grab a handle on this $49.156 billion in market cap. They're going after BNB in the same way they've been going after XRP, seeking to turn BNB into a security. And we know from what we've seen with XRP's action, XRP, the court case with the SEC, has just been dragging on and on and on. And CZ, the owner of Binance, is one of the richest people in the world. Good luck, SEC. Our community loves to BORSOG, to buy on red, sell on green. The best way to help you to understand when to BORSOG is to actually do the thumbnails in this way. You can see, for example, the market can get quite red and then get quite green the next day. Get quite red, get quite green. This is a really valuable way of you understanding what's moving in the market each day, and you can just go back to any particular day and have a look. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, and you can always reach out and directly message me on Twitter at any time. We're going to talk a lot about Rule 760 today, start small and scale. This is a very powerful rule. JK Secret, a couple of episodes ago, said, "I love that you teach us to start small and encourage us to grow from there, Ken. Too often we are made to feel if you don't go big and aim for the moon, laugh out loud, you should go home broke. Whereas your approach is much less stressful and certainly doable when one learns how to do it consistently by following the rules." I'm going to share a couple of examples that were put out directly messaged to me by beloved community members, and it's going to show you a different perspective. Before we get into those particular trades, I just want to explain the 10% per week ideology, if you like. A lot of people think that they have to go for 300, 500, 1,000, 10,000% returns. The problem with that is it's really difficult to do. But small returns generated often can actually lead to really big results. You can start small and you can grow big, but you need the right methodology. For example, if you put $1,000 into the market and you received a 10% return, you'd make $100 or $1,100 overall. If you did this in a week and just kept on doing that 10% every week, you would get 11,639% across a year. That would grow 1,000 into $117,000 across a year. That's 117.4x. These small percentage gains can really add up. And when you look at a small percentage gain, a lot of people say, oh, you could have done so much better. But if you consistently do these small gains, you'd be surprised at what can happen. But this, of course, requires a lot of knowledge. It requires rules. It requires, counterintuitively, patience. real wealth as a focus, and BORSOGing, buying on red, selling on green, which is very counterintuitive as well. A beloved community member reached out and said, Ken, I've got this little trade. I turned $49 into $56 and I'd like you to share it. That occurred from the 3rd to the 6th of this month, and you can see the 49 in here, the 56 in here. This particular beloved community member made $6.29. Hey, that's starting small, but the return on investment is 12.63%. You'd be lucky to get $6.29 out of bank interest in about 5 years, really. Well done, my friend. But when you look at the annualized return on investment, it's something rather large. So starting small is completely permissible. And a lot of people say, no, you've got to go all in and more every single time you do a trade. You don't have to. Who told you that anyway? A lot of people are in such a hurry. You don't need to be in a hurry. Go slow to go fast. Get the methodology right. Get your emotional composition correct. Be professional. Don't suffer fear. And when you have such small amounts in the market, that's a really, really good way to do it. And it doesn't have to be $50. It could be $10. Just getting the methodology right is what you're after. Let's have another look at an example. Another beloved community member reached out and said, Ken, I just did this one from June the 1st to June the 2nd. And they were a little bit embarrassed because it was so small, according to them. But it's not small. When you actually look at this, this is Solana. And you can see this community member bought 12.653 SOL and sold 12. They had 0.653 SOL at the particular price of $34.95 or $25 left sitting in their account, but they sold the rest of it, and you're going to find that this happens a lot. So this beloved community member bought $498 but still had $25 left. That means they actually sold $473 worth at $520 or $473.15 for $520. In this particular case, this beloved community member turned $473 into $520 and made nearly $50 profit, or around 10%. That's not bad, but this was within 1 day. You can see the annualized return on investment is something quite insane, but it goes to show you what you can actually do by BORSOGing. Well done. When people first get into the crypto market, in fact any financial market, they fall into zone 1, which is the entitlement zone. They've worked extremely hard for their money. They want to put it down and get a guaranteed return. Because they're participating, they want the participation award. Hey, they're handed out at school, they're handed out at work. Yeah, participation is great. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in financial markets. Of course, when people don't get the return, sometimes their return, they are promised 0% losses. If anybody says to you, it's an unbeatable opportunity, 0% risk, run fast. The tuition fee of the markets is losses, and what we actually do, we learn from our losses, just like in life. Losses actually make us stop. They make us understand what we did wrong and what we can do more effectively next time. It's the same thing in life. If you're in a relationship and you have a break up, it's not a breakdown, it's a break up, you'll do better with the next person. Just think about it like that. But that heartache and that heartbreak is really, really difficult to go through, but it paves the way for strength and a better relationship in the future. Of course, when people have a loss of money, they get really angry. They get angry with themselves to the point that some people can't get out of bed. And when that anger explodes outwards, it creates conflict. Of course, a lot of people can get very, very jealous. They see other people doing well and say, well, why can't I do that? I don't understand. What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with those people. Nothing at all. It just takes time. It takes knowledge. And there's a better way of looking at it, a more constructive and effective way. If they can do it, so can you. Inverting negative thinking is a really, really powerful way of getting out of Zone 1 and Zone 2. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are all about certainty and terror. They're low knowledge zones. But what happens after mind-numbing losses or consistent losses is people look at it and say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm sick of Zone 1. I'm sick of Zone 2. I want to learn. I want to have a diamond mind, diamond hands, and a diamond heart. I'm going to move from certainty, which is just terrorizing me, into probability and their rules that relate to probability, and having learning and courage to just keep on going on, thinking differently, making three-way decisions, not just one, understanding percentages like what you've just seen, and having rules, having a methodology to mark up exponential price action, which is the CTKS method. And there's many other things to it that we go into in the masterclass, and of course in these community videos as well. The real focus is Zone 4, where people master fear, but they also live with worthiness and meaning in their life. And that's all about positive excellence life trend, having integrity, decency, kindness, strength, and boundaries. We can build up diamond hands in Zone 1 and Zone 2, a diamond mind in Zone 3, and a diamond heart in Zone 4. And in crypto, you'll need all three together. So hopefully, when you look at Rule 760, start small and scale, you'll have a very, very different attitude towards it. And it's always good to remember, markets reward knowledge and penalize the lack of it. As crypto technical analysts, we are professionals who scientifically track investor attention, and investor attention is measured by price, which is reality, not future promises. The first thing qualified crypto technical analysts do is mark up their charts with the CTKS method. They look outside the crypto market to gain context of investment substitutability. Crypto is just one way that people can invest. They can invest in stocks, bonds, gold, so many things, real estate, you name it. Then they go back into the crypto market, seeking to find the market's focus, understanding that opportunities reset daily, and enhancing their pattern recognition. It's really, really important that you don't just focus on your beloved alts. If you do that, you're going to miss the wider picture, and it will push you into Zone 1 and Zone 2. You don't want to be there. That's where people lose money. Before we buy or sell, we must have a positive excellence life trend and master our emotional control. This is incredibly important. A lot of trading and investing is psychological by nature. When we've mastered ourselves, we get into the buying and the selling. And one thing is to make volatility your best friend and patiently apply the 10-5-10 rule. Let's have a look at what the stock market is doing. Because we do that because of Rule 225, Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. We can see currently that the S&P 500, the proxy for stocks, is down 2%. Gold is down 3% and Bitcoin is down 9%. But when you look across the returns, you can see crypto has done quite well. Let's have a look into the main markets. And Masterclass students, you'll get my live chart in TM6. When we look at the VIX, the fear gauge of the market, we can see it receding. Now, what does this mean? When the VIX comes down, prices typically go up. I say typically because it's not 100%. Sometimes they wobble around a bit. But what we've seen is, as on average, the VIX coming down, prices have gone up. Now, where did they go up to? They went and absolutely blasted through this resistance level. And now what are they doing? They're consolidating for the NASDAQ 100. What could happen next? Please let me know in the comments. What do you think the VIX is going to do? What do you think the NASDAQ 100 is going to do? And a lot of people who are new to this analysis would say, Ken, I don't care what they do. You should, because if you look at the directional correlation, or the directional association between the NASDAQ and Bitcoin, you can see it's following very, very closely. Now, what you say, I don't care. Why don't even buy Bitcoin? It's too expensive. What is a 10% return on a thing that costs $100,000 versus a 10% return on something that costs 0.00001, and pretend you could buy $1,000 of each? Please let me know in the comments. The truth is that Bitcoin's gravity, your beloved alts, cannot escape Bitcoin's gravity. If you're not paying attention to Bitcoin, you are definitely losing money. No question about it. So what we can see is price is absolutely just consolidating above that resistance level. That's pretty good stuff, but we need it to go up to test this resistance. Why do we need that? Because the Nasdaq and Bitcoin are moving in directional correlation at this present time. When markets start to get overheated, they can start to move in different directions at different times, but not at the moment. We're seeing a big reduction in price, and that big reduction in price tends to synchronize markets. We can see bond prices coming down. Gold hit resistance and is coming down as well, and the dollar has been finding itself on upward support. What about bond yields? They've been going up, and oil is also going up. What about the put-call ratio? People are starting to, well, they were quite bearish here. They were anticipating lower and lower prices. They become more positive in their expectations of higher prices, but we're starting to see a bit more bearishness enter the market. Now, what do we think of bull and bear? Well, it's all pretty fun. We need another animal. We need an eagle, a BORSOG. What is BORSOG? That's rule 621, and there's BORSOG, the eagle, and he's screeching, buy on red and sell on green. That's what we do. And if you'd like your very own BORSOG NFT, you can go to the link in the description of this video. There's been a lot of talk about inflation expectations and inflation in the system. What we actually know is inflation peaked, and the annualized inflation rate peaked at around 8.5% and then came down to 8.3 recently. And the May CPI figures are coming out this Friday in the US. We can see the federal balance sheet actually reducing, starting to curl over. We can also see that the 10-year and 5-year break-even inflation rates have been coming up. We don't have data on M1 and M2 money stock just yet. That's the problem with government data. They're really slow to release it. And what do we see with the Nasdaq? We can see it's consolidating around that once resistance, now support level. And Bitcoin has been following that directional bias. You can see that it's over-exaggerating this particular move. And that's what directional correlation is about. They don't move one-to-one. They over and under exaggerate price movements. And Masterclass students, you'll get my live chart in TM4. A lot of people think we're in recession. We are not in recession. If we're in recession, this red line will bump up like this. We're not seeing that at the moment. In fact, what we actually do see is China's stock market is actually turning around. What do we see with the UK market? It's about to break out. Germany's market is looking really good. Russia's market is still under pressure. Look at the Japan or Japanese market. Japan's market is doing really well. It's cleared a very key level of resistance and it's going for a party. We can see the Russell 2000 has overcome a level of resistance, and that doesn't mean it's not coming back to test what we saw with the Nasdaq. That could happen, and it's happening with the S&P 500, with the Dow as well. But the Russell is looking stronger, and Australia's stock market is actually improving. It's over resistance, just trying to figure out what it's doing next. In recessionary periods, what we find is the US markets tend to come down last, not first, and we've seen a lot of strength in markets outside the US. Now, why do we look at the US market? Because it's a really big market. In fact, it is so big that the US market comprised 59.9% of global stock market value as of February 2022. That's why we must look at the US markets. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. What Rule 45 actually means you can look at this Bitcoin's fingerprint, Bitcoin's price action. Your alts will be undergoing this kind of momentum. That's really important to understand. Now, what are we looking at here? Bitcoin went on a bit of a party in the last trading session, hit resistance at level 1 and said, ouch, I don't like that, I'm backing off, and then came down and then has come back up again. What is it trying to do? It's trying to get through this resistance. That's what it's trying to do at the moment. What we often see is when something gets through resistance, it will often come back and retest a support level, and it doesn't have to come all the way down to 3,300 to do it. For example, Bitcoin is currently trading at 31,440. It could come down lower or it could blast through. One of the things that we always understand is we must make three-way decisions on our portfolio and on our specific trades. What do we see with the RSI? The RSI is getting really, really overbought at this particular time, like what it was doing back here. Does that mean we go all in and more? Well, certainly, certain people do that. And they actually find out that they're potentially in zone 1 and zone 2, especially if price moves against them. Actually coming down here when the RSI is lower can sometimes give you a good entry, but it's not always guaranteed. This is the thing with indicators. Indicators can give out signals, sometimes which are good, sometimes which are bad. And that's what you have to bear in mind. But the RSI overall is not too bad an indicator. What we actually see, we're currently about 23.99% above the KS model level, and that is a very, very strong support. If we went down, we would expect that 23.99% would be about the maximum we'd go down. But when we look at level A, 28,957.79, this is a really, really, really strong level that's been withheld and held up for a long period of time. We see positive air above it. What does positive air mean? It basically says that prices tried to come down to test this particular support level but didn't get there. That's really positive. There's air above that support. That's positive air. And we can see negative air, for example, below these resistance lines, the resistance line at 1. And the thing to bear in mind with Bitcoin and all of crypto is it is exponential. It's not like the stock market. It doesn't do gradual, constant changes. It does implosions and explosions, implosions and explosions. It's unlike any other market, and it needs a different mindset to be effective in this market, which is the BORSOG market. What do we see with the NASDAQ 100? We can see the NASDAQ 100 went up, and that pulled Bitcoin in its direction, and it's come down. And Bitcoin has also come down, but Bitcoin is a 24-hour by 7 trading opportunity or investment opportunity. And we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. What are we seeing here? If the VIX actually continues to go down, we will see prices go up. And if the VIX spikes, we would expect prices to go down. It's a little bit 50-50 at the moment as to what exactly will happen. We know that the NASDAQ is at pretty good support. If it bounces, that's great. But the VIX is quite overextended to the negative side or to the downside at the moment. So it's pretty much 50-50 what it will do. We have certain rules that keep us safe, and you can always buy lower is one of them. And you can see that basically we get excited when we buy on red. That's not what zone 1 and zone 2 people do. They can't do it. They want 0% loss. What we want to do is when it gets really, really red, we want to buy that. We want to get some of that because we know the overall trend in crypto is exponential by nature. It's always up and down, up and down. And of course, you should always remember that price is always moving in a wave. It doesn't just come straight down, and it just doesn't go straight up. It's always moving in a wave. What do we see with the longs and the shorts? The longs are continuing their merciless adding to their positions. They love it. What about the shorts? The shorts are saying, ouch, damn it, you longs, you hurt me. Well, the truth is that the shorts come in to cool a market down and the longs come in to heat a market up. They're always working symbiotically, but it just doesn't feel that way. And we can see the fear and greed has leveled off. It's basically extreme fear at the moment. Extreme fear is the best time to get into a market, and it's absolutely the opposite time that anyone in Zone 1 and Zone 2 would want to enter a market, because they're worried about 0% loss. In Zone 3, we have probabilistic fearlessness, and BORSOG, we don't care about losses because we understand they're part and parcel of the crypto market, and we have techniques to manage those losses. And the best technique anybody ever has to manage a loss is to pick correctly in the first place. If you pick really good crypto projects and you buy at spot, you'll never get liquidated, and you can just hold on because you're not paying any fees for anything. You've bought at spot price, which is meaning it's not a derivatives product. Let's have a look at over the past 24 hours. We've had 166.7 million in liquidations across 58,202 positions. In the past 24 hours, nearly 70% of total liquidations across the 24-hour period were short. What about the last 12 hours? Ouch, 57.5. This is the problem going long and short. You'll always find that you're getting stopped out or liquidated. Across the past 4 hours, 63.41% of liquidations were short. What about the past hour? You can see it's just zigzagging and seesawing all over the place. 64.64% long. A lot of people use leverage because they're told to. And what actually happens, if you don't know what you're doing, you will be punished. And by punished, you can actually lose more than the entire account value you put in. So be very careful of derivatives. But of course, if you're professional, go for it. You can do whatever you want because you are consistently profitable, know how to emotionally handle the market, emotionally handle yourself, and you work from probabilistic fearlessness, which is the way that it goes. Now, what you can see is that a lot of shorts have been liquidated, but we're also getting longs liquidated as well. Many people have found out, to their horror, that when you hedge a position in the crypto market, that is, you box in a particular percent return, going long and going short at the same time, it can actually backfire and you can get liquidated in both directions and lose your account entirely. Looking at Bitcoin options expiring at the end of the month, we can see here that the max pain price, which is the price at which maximum financial pain is imposed on option holders, both going short and going long. Going short expecting lower prices and going long expecting higher prices is $33,000. This is the price at which the majority of the options expire worthless. We can see clustering between the 55,000 and 70,000 marks for the calls. That means the longs. And for a clustering of between 25 to 15,000 for the puts or the shorts. But the overwhelming weight is actually to the long side. It's to the upward price momentum side at the present moment. So I can hear you say, Ken, what does this really mean? Well, just think about it like this. If all the bars were green and they were all up at $300,000, that would kind of expect that price was going up above what it is currently now. And if all these purple bars, all the shorts, were at 10,000, for example, we would anticipate the majority of the market expected Bitcoin to reach $10,000. So this gives you some sort of perspective as to where people are placing bets on the market, and they are bets. Turning to the DeFi market, we can see TVL, or total value locked, increase by 1.82% to $109 billion. And we can also see from the top here which was around 250 billion. We've actually come down to around 110 billion. Thank you, Terra Luna. When we look at total value locked across all chains, the top chains are Ethereum, BNB, Tron, AVAX, and Sol. What are the top performers over the past 24 hours? Helium, HNT, up 14%, XEC, up 10.81%, Rune, up 9.42%, Gala, 8.52% up, Solana, 8.5% up, LRC, 8.17% up, Theta, 7.46% up. What are the top losers over the past 24 hours? Elron, EGLD, down 6.76%, HT, down 2.58%, BNB, down 1.14%, and then it gets into the basically nothing. Let's have a look at the top projects, and what we're seeing, Bitcoin is under tight resistance. It's not broken out from its resistance yet, but when it does, it could really party. It can come up very, very quickly. And what do we see with Ethereum? Ethereum is a long way away relative to Bitcoin, and this means that Ethereum has been sold down more than Bitcoin. And this typically happens when we have any kind of negative event. Bitcoin has an inflow from the alts. It's seen as a sign of safety. But when things start to rock and roll, exactly the opposite happens. And we can see Binance Coin starting to lose that particular level of support. And we understand that Gary Gensler, our beloved SEC commissioner, is after crypto yet again. Thank you, Gary. And what do we see with XRP? XRP is a long way away from that resistance, just like Ethereum is, but it's following Bitcoin's gravity. What about ADA? ADA has passed through that particular resistance level. It's just reconfirming the uptrend. But please take note, what we need to look at is what the US markets do. If they come down, we could see more negative momentum, more negative price pressure. So things are a little bit uncertain at the moment, but that doesn't mean we don't participate in the market and we don't go for it, because we know that if you're not in it, you can't win it, but you must use your knowledge. And we can see Solana has done very well. Now, why has it done well? Because it's sold off traumatically and sharp angles reflect or reverse. And this is something that we understand in the crypto market. What about Doge? It's just following Bitcoin's gravity, and it's a long way under resistance. What do you think will happen when Bitcoin gets above resistance to these alts? Please let me know in the comments. And you can see DOT is quite close to its resistance level in comparison to the other particular alts like BNB, XRP, Sol, and Doge. And we can see ADA is above resistance. Professionals always make 3 in advance probabilistic choices. They have a choice as to what they will do if things go in their direction, go against them, or go flat. And they're always playing out the scenarios. Let's have a look at the metaverse, and we're particularly interested in Bitcoin's fingerprint and how it relates to these beloved alts. These are all community projects. What we can see is Sand is still below, a tight resistance level, but it's following Bitcoin's directional bias. Axie Infinity is getting very close to taking out resistance. That could be interesting. Decentraland, Mana, is still below resistance. Gala is below resistance, but you can see this up spike following Bitcoin's gravity, and it's very, very nice up spike, but don't forget, we've got resistance there. Let's have a look at Engine. Engine is following Bitcoin's directional movement under resistance at the moment. You can see basically the entire crypto market is under resistance. And if you don't look like what we do each day, you just won't get a feel for things. Let's have a look at Ape. Ape went ape crazy, but there's been many unfortunate attacks and hacks on Ape's ecosystem, which has caused it to basically trade down. But you can see that it's still obeying the basics. What about Chili's starting to get above resistance? That could be interesting. What about GMT? GMT is starting to get above tight resistance as well. If you were to just pick one or two, make it two. If you were to pick two particular projects from all the ones we're going to go through, please let me know in the comments and let me know why those ones as well. That's really important to understand your why. Don't just throw a dart at the dartboard. Try to get some science behind it. Let's have a look at some more community favorites. We can see NEAR still under resistance, but following Bitcoin's gravity. Matic under resistance following Bitcoin's gravity. Icon starting to break out. Go Icon. Very nice. VRA still under resistance, but following Bitcoin's gravity, getting close. Rose a little bit further away, but following Bitcoin's gravity. What do we see here with Kusama, KSM, following Bitcoin's gravity, but showing a little bit of weakness here. As Bitcoin is coming up, Kusama is coming down. There's some inherent weakness in that at the moment. IOTA, well done. IOTA fans, your crypto is above resistance. Always expect to buy at support levels down. Just keep that in mind all the time. You want to do what you can to lower your average buy price. And that doesn't mean you only buy dips. You can buy it as it goes up, but you always seek to buy pullbacks. Let's have a look at IOTEX. IOTEX was looking pretty good. Now IOTA is looking much stronger. We can see that Theta has come up to resistance and has been pulled back from it. You can see it right there. Let's have a look at Waves. Waves is over resistance. Let's have a look at SHIB. SHIB is really suppressed in price action at the moment and a long way below resistance. EGLD was one of those greatest losers, and we can see that it sold off and then that sharp angle bounced and reflected. It's still under resistance, but it's showing a degree of strength at the moment. Let's have a look at Phantom. Phantom is under resistance, but following Bitcoin's gravity. CHR, the same. It's following Bitcoin's gravity, but it's really close to passing across resistance. What about LRC? LRC is looking much healthier. It's bypassing that resistance. Please let me know in the comments, what happens when a crypto bypasses or gets above resistance? What is the normal thing that occurs? And we can look at KNC. KNC is just above this level of very sharp resistance and just consolidating at the moment. Looking at some more community favorites, Stellar is above resistance. Go Stellar. CRV below resistance and following Bitcoin's fingerprint. AVAX below resistance and following Bitcoin's fingerprint. You can see they basically all follow, and this is really important to understand. What happened to your beloved alt? Please let me know in the comments. That's got one answer. Let's have a look at Arweave. AR just still below resistance, but it's shown a higher degree of strength. When you look at, for example, AVAX, AVAX became very weak and it has continued down. What are we seeing with Arweave? AR has exhibited more strength. What is the best alt to go after? A strong one or a weak one? Please let me know in the comments. It's a really good thing to discuss and to talk about. What about ZIL? ZIL is getting very close to taking out that resistance level. You can see it's already popped above it and it's coming back in for a retest. That could be really interesting. Let's have a look at Uni. Uni has bypassed its level of resistance and it's following Bitcoin's fingerprint or its gravity. Now, what happened or what will happen to Uni if Bitcoin sells off? Please let me know in the comments. FTT or FTX token is under resistance, and FTT has been quite weak of late, and you can see what happened to BNB. FTT is an exchange token. BNB is an exchange token. You can see that the charts will tell us the news before the news even breaks, but only if we look at it consistently. Let's have a look at Tron. Tron is in an uptrend, And what's happening around here? Please let me know in the comments what you think of this price action for Tron from about the 4th of May till today. What is that exhibiting? It's really good to discuss these things, and we've got a very loving and kind community. We don't attack each other, we just seek to actually enhance knowledge. We're just an incredibly supportive community. And why is that? Because we build the real well foundations of positive excellence. We believe in kindness, authenticity, gratitude, happiness, inner and outer peace. These are all the things that you need to tick. You need to tick all of these boxes to actually withstand the weight of success. And there is a weight that comes with success. A lot of people think that all their problems will be solved when they become successful. It's not the case. It's not ever the case. The key is to be happy now. And if you live from a position of positive excellence, you will be. And not only will you be happy, you'll find meaning and worthiness as well. Very, very beautiful thing to focus on. I'd like to give you something, and I think it's really, really helpful to keep this in mind. Belief, persistence, knowledge, skill, then personal growth, success last. This actually paves the way to your success. Success is a byproduct of doing the right things. And don't worry about going fast to get there. Everybody's in a screaming hurry to do everything. You don't build success in a screaming hurry. If you do, you'll scream as it collapses around you. You need solid foundations. You need the belief, then the persistence. You need belief because you need persistence. With knowledge, that's terrific, but you need to transfer it into skill. And then the personal growth. This is what you do to work on yourself to become strong, to withstand the success that is coming. And it's your birthright to be successful, to have meaning and fulfillment in this world. You are deserving. You're very, very deserving. And why is that? You could say, but Ken, I've done so many things in the past that I'm just not proud of. Did you learn from that? Are you doing differently now? Then you're worthy, of course. What people go through in life, many people experience many steps backwards, but there is not a step backward without 2 steps forward. If you've experienced step after step backwards, wow, what's coming in your future just must be amazing, because you're going to get all those double steps forwards. Unfortunately, yesterday I didn't get an opportunity to make all the videos that I wanted to because my computer actually went on the fritz. So hopefully it's kind of back, but it's looking a little bit wobbly. So I just wanted to let you know that I'll get those videos out to everybody as soon as possible, to the Coffee Club members and also to the LV videos in the Masterclass. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting Masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.